Hey there, this is Toasty Fresh, and I'm going to here with a quick discussion video just to get a subject rolling on one of the most hotly anticipated games at the moment, and that's No Man's Sky, which a lot of you are looking forward to, and it's being hyped to all kinds of hell in the magazines and on Twitter and social media and things like that, and amongst the fans. And I was just wondering, is this a bit of a big burden of hype for a game of this type? Because I was recently reading an article on it, and that's what's got me thinking of this and doing a subject video on it. And I actually looked at the game, and in fact the magazine that I was reading it on, Games Master magazine, that I happened to read this in, actually alluded to one of my points, which was the only bad thing about this game is, and for all the wonderful technological, leaps and all the achievements this game is going to have, I mean, being able to visit almost infinite number of worlds and space travel and go straight from deep space to a space station to on the planet and jump out of your spaceship, and all that is fantastic, but as the magazine, even that, it was 5 out of 5 for how hotly anticipated the game was. But I was just wondering, wouldn't the whole experience start to get a bit old after a while? Because maybe I'm wrong, so stop me if I'm wrong, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot to the game apart from gathering resources and exploring and gathering resources and exploring and upgrading your ship, and then so you can go out exploring more planets. And I just thought the only thing with this game is it just seems like it wouldn't have the legs to really hold you for a great amount of time. And while on paper it looks great to have this absolutely expansive universe to go and explore, but really, how good is it if, from looking at the pictures and the things that I've seen, a pretty sparse gaming experience? I mean, the plot and the storyline seem pretty, thin on the ground to say the least. There's a bit of combat, but the enemies don't really look dead inspiring, to be honest. A few robots on the certain planets, a couple of pirates when you're in deep space and you're flying between planets. All very, to be honest, and I don't want to bash the game until I've really seen a good amount of it myself. Maybe go and watch some videos and get some more data together, but I'm really struggling to see where this amount of hype is coming from. I mean, just purely on the fact that it's got this infinite number of worlds, and all they're going on about the style of it and the retro sci-fi stylings, but just to look at the worlds, yes, you got an expansive world when you land on it to look around, but there doesn't seem to be a hell of a lot to do when you're there. And I mean, I could be all kinds of wrong, and I'm expecting a lot of heat from this. If I put this out, people attacking me and going, "You don't know what you're talking about," and if not, enlighten me. I don't mind. If you've got some facts on the game, more maybe, for me to have a look over. But I just think just because you can, doesn't mean you should. And I think there's a bit of a precedent in games at the moment of one-upping the next big gaming world that was made. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy some of those games. I really enjoy some of the games, like the Elder Scrolls games. Is one of my favourite kind of franchises ever since Morrowind. I mean, I got into it on the original Xbox, and they can be great, but the thing about those games is, they had quests, they had a lot of things you could do packed into that environment, and loads to keep you going, and the things that stuck in the memory, quests and things like that. things for you to do. This doesn't seem to be anywhere near that, and that's why I'm struggling to, I'm scratching my head thinking, where's the hype coming from? And I mean, I don't want to be someone of those people who's on a big downer about a game and just trying to go against the grain or whatever. It does look an okay game. I mean, I'm gonna have to be honest and say it doesn't blow me away, and I don't look at the game and think, wow, I must play that. I have to say, but it looks nice. It's got a different kind of style, I suppose, visually, but nothing to blow me away. I'm afraid to say, from reading the articles and what the game has to offer, the enemies look pretty uninspiring, and if it's just a mining quest game, I could see it getting pretty old pretty quick. I'm more on the school of I want a decent story that I can get involved in, or just something else of the game that I can get involved in. There doesn't seem to be a hell of a lot to sink your teeth into in this game, and there's something to be said for certain games that are linear, are more linear, but have a great experience, or to give you the wow factor. Kind of the Uncharted games, just to name one game that did the kind of more linear route really well. They knew what they were doing, and they crafted it well, and they did a decent-ish storyline, likeable-ish characters, and it was a great experience. You were buying into the experience, and too much now seems to be this, we've got to offer a bigger environment than Skyrim, it's got to be bigger than Skyrim, it's got to be bigger than the Grand Theft Auto game, it's got to be so many times, what that is. And I just think, what's the point if half of it is really sparse and not very interesting to go and look around? I mean, you know what I mean? I'm all for that, but I could go and walk right now to God knows where, Bradford or wherever, but it doesn't mean I'd enjoy it once I got there, or there'd be a lot to do. I don't think you should have this expanse for the sake of it, and exploration for the sake of it. I mean, some of the things do sound pretty sweet, like being able to look at the sun coming up from behind a planet, and having these great kind of scenes that you can see from a space station, things like that. But we've kind of seen that in games before, so it's like I said, all the things that they mentioned, I thought, well, I've seen great graphics on other games, I've seen expansive worlds. I mean, there may be nothing on this scale, but I'm just really, I don't know, I'm scratching my head at what makes it so much of a hotly anticipated game, and maybe I'm missing something, I don't know. That's why I'm maybe doing this video, but I'd love to just see. But I think, like I said, the big pitfall of this game is going to be the longevity of it, and when the novelty wears off and all this hype around it and people geeing themselves up all to go out and buy this game, whether it's really going to be worth it when you get down to it and you've played it for a while and you think, actually this game, it's sounding, I don't know, to me it sounds like kind of like a chore. It seems very grand, and some of it, it's okay grinding if you've got a bit of a payoff for it, but I'm not seeing the payoff, and maybe that's because not enough of the game has been released yet, and maybe I'm just totally wrong. Maybe I need to go and read up a bit more about the game, but I'd like to know other people's thoughts on that as well. Does anyone share my thoughts? Has anyone looked at the game and just thought, it looks okay, but that's about as far as it goes? Or am I completely on my own with this one, and am I going to get roasted in the heat of a flame war over this? Comments. But that's all I wanted to bring up, really. Just a short and sweet video just on a few of my views on one of the games that's in people's thoughts at the moment. That's all I got time for. I'd love to hear your views, and I'm sure you're going to post them regardless. But thanks for watching. That's game over from me.